Hello everyone, Ceri Griffiths here, or as most of you know me, Ceri the Crafter, and this is Coffee with Ceri. Now, if you're new to Coffee with Ceri, this is where I pop on once a month, have a chat over a cup of coffee about a subject either that has come to my attention or something I feel passionate about, or a request from someone else, as some have been in the past and probably will be in the future. It's not my intent to upset anyone. I try to give an unbiased opinion on a subject, whatever it is, and I try to put both sides. And the point of it is basically to either raise awareness or spark a conversation, or maybe just maybe help someone pause and think. So anyway, this month it's one actually about YouTube. Now, if you have a YouTube channel, you should be aware of this, but if you're not, then this is the video you should be watching. If you don't have a YouTube channel, there may be some things in this which will make you view watching YouTube videos differently. So, oh, itchy nose. So I've got a candle going over there, and I think I've had it going for about 6 hours now, and I think it's got a bit scented for me, but it's fine. It's nice. I love the smell of it. Now, I started my YouTube channel, 14 or 15 years ago, I think. And when I started it, I didn't even think I'd get 100 subscribers. I thought my friends and colleagues would probably sign up. Maybe some of my family would sign up. And then as my career took me out into the world and I became somebody within the cake decorating, bakery and confectionery world, my numbers grew and grew, and then I was teaching workshops and I was judging. The numbers grew and grew. I was then working on shopping channel television where I was demonstrating. There was something called Cake Academy I ran once a month on a shopping channel, where basically where I became more noticed by the world. Obviously all my social media and everything grew to grow with it, and I just took it for granted, in so much as I realized that the more I was seen by people, the more I was likely to be followed and subscribed and befriended by people, and that was fabulous. Although probably because of the generation I am. I mean, I grew up with no computers. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I remember when the first mobile phone came out and it was a brick. I remember the first colour TV. I remember the first man on the moon. It was like, I remember going from imperial to decimalisation. There's been lots of things in my life. And so I viewed the internet as basically a big city. Like I never perceived the immensity of what the World Wide Web actually was or would become. And I should have got a clue, really. It's in the name, World Wide Web. But I had a sort of small town boy mentality, and I thought, oh, it just means maybe the places I visited. And as time went by and more people became part of YouTube, became part of social media, when the internet started taking over the world, it suddenly started to dawn on me that, wait a minute, this person's messaging me in another language from another time zone, and I'm trying to answer questions at 1 o'clock in the morning, but actually it's only their afternoon, and it started to dawn. I know I'm not the fastest person in the world, but it really then did begin to dawn on me that, hey, wait a minute, the stuff I'm putting out there isn't just local, it's the entire planet. Well, the entire planet, with the exceptions of countries or governments that don't have social media or don't have access to social media. And that became quite intimidating, to suddenly think that anything that I did or messed up or misspoke about or accidentally offended someone was to potentially a worldwide audience. Now, I'm not here to scare anyone, I can tell you. Now, as you know, I struggle with anxiety. So that immediately kicked off the whole anxiety thing. And before we know it, I was feeling like I couldn't point a camera at myself anymore. I felt I couldn't have an opinion. Um, I got past that. I sat myself down several times and had a good old talk with myself. And through the support of friends, families, followers, subscribers, everybody, it became obvious from the comments that what I was creating and doing had value. Um, no more so actually than definitely during the pandemic years, when I had several messages from people saying, "You're the only person I've heard speaking for the last 2 months." Some people were in isolation for so long, their only window to the world was the internet. And people like myself and other artists and influencers were the only company these people had, which lockdown or the pandemic obviously changed everybody, me included. However, I was quite lucky in that because I was working with TV companies at the time and the government viewed television, shopping channels, entertainment on screen as an important support for mankind, I was given a special letter that allowed me to travel when most people were in lockdown. So for me, I didn't get locked in my house permanently, so really didn't realize how much that must impact on people. I was still able to drive back and forth to the TV studios. Granted, I had masks and sanitizer and I would keep distance. If I stopped at a petrol station, I put gloves on to handle pumps. I would only pay by card. I wouldn't touch anything. I didn't want receipts. When I got to the other end, I had to go through the TV studio protocols. I had to there was, well, you get it, you went through it with me. I mean, we all went through this. So I didn't, thank goodness, have the isolation a lot of people had. And so therefore I didn't experience possibly the loneliness a lot of people experience, which social media and YouTube filled that void to a certain extent. So sorry, I'm sort of digressing from where I wanted to go with this. But anyway, so I understood that what I was putting out there had value. I was sometimes a lifeline for people. I did throughout that time have a lot of private messages come through where people just wanted to talk or chat. And I answered every single one of them to the best of my abilities, knowing that they knew I wasn't a counsellor. I wasn't authorized to speak as I did. As long as they knew that I was talking just as a fellow human being, I gave no medical advice. I gave no religious advice. I gave no political advice. I was basically the friend on the other end of Messenger. And some of those people to this very day drop me the occasional line, and I have no problem. That's wonderful. That I could actually put that out there. Little old Ceri from Cardiff could do that. But it's still a bit mind-blowing to me. Anyway, back to where I was going with this video. So of course, my channel has grown and grown, and I am really excited about that. I mean, I think I've just gone past the 80,000 subscriber mark, which is mind-blowing to me. Although I am still a tiny, tiny, tiny little fish in a very huge pond. But I'm being noticed for being me, for being a mixed media artist, for being a cake decorator, baker, confectioner, being an influencer, whatever I'm becoming. It's growing and growing. And with popularity comes expectation. And that's been something that I've been struggling quite a bit, probably about the last year and a half with, in that when I first started out, I was pleased to do the best I could on the day, knowing that I had limited resources, limited finances, limited knowledge and ability, but I put videos out there and they were getting a good response. And if sometimes the light wasn't great, or if there were background noises, or they couldn't quite hear my voice and they had to turn the volume up high, then it was forgiven. If I misnamed products, and I still do that to this very day. I mean, I think I've just released one video where I was calling it embossing paste when it's embossing powder. I very often call a tag a journal card, and I get my words mixed up. But then when you stand in front of a camera with a continual train of thought that has to be at least 2 steps before the action you're doing and the words that are coming out of your mouth, believe me, it takes some doing. I mean, ask any other YouTuber. It's keeping that conscious stream of useful verbal dialogue that's relatable to what you're doing. It's a skill. You can learn it. I've learned it. I think my years on working on TV shows definitely helped with that, because when you're a demonstrator for a shopping channel, so I would do TV shows and I'd have what was called talkback. Talkback is this little earpiece that's plugged into your ear. So I'd be on live TV, I'd have an earplug in here and I'd have a microphone here. So whatever I said was heard, but what you didn't hear was the directors and producers in the balcony, as we used to call it, talking to me. So I'd be saying one thing to you, but then they'd be going, Ceri, cut to screen 3. Ceri, pull this product forward. Can you redo this bit for us? Ceri, what's the names? Can you define this? And I'd have to keep this going and this hearing at the same time. Yeah, it took me a long while to get used to talk back, and I'm still very often, if I have to do it now, I'm like, what? I'm hearing voices, and it's just because I don't do it as much anymore. I might pop up on TV occasionally to do a dem for a company, but it's not really where I am a lot lately. So anyway, so getting back to the point. So the viewer's expectation of what my channel was when I started has hugely changed to what they expect now. I think when you become a brand, like Ceri the Crafter is a brand. I am Ceri Griffiths, but Ceri the Crafter is a brand. It's my persona for what I do, because Ceri Griffiths is a name. It's my name. Well, it's more than Ceri in the name. It's Ceri Daniel David Griffiths. Let's not keep that one going, shall we? So Ceri Griffiths is me, but Ceri the Crafter is a brand. And I created Ceri the Crafter because it's got a hook. You remember Ceri the Crafter. I mean, I can probably say anyone who is a subscriber could easily go, yes, hi, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri, the Crafter. It's a hook. It's something that makes you remember me. It's like PM Artist Studio at the beginning of their lives. Oh, goodness, I'm going to try and do this now, aren't I? Mariah will go, it's P over there. Patricia will go, it's M over there. And together we are PM Artist Studio. It's like Nicole from Relax Cut Glue. Forgive me, Nicole, I slaughter this every time I do it. She says something like, this is Nicole, welcome to my channel, Relax Cut Glue. So do you see they're all hooks, but they're meant to be something that is almost like an earworm that you remember, which helps you understand that with me, hopefully, hearing Ceri the Crafter is something that's pleasurable. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that, I had a really good video, a nice experience, want you to return. Those earworms, or those hooks as I call them, can backfire, because say you went to a channel and they had a catchy phrase. Let's just make one up. Boris the Bulldog. There you go. Boris the Bulldog is a dog grooming company. Forgive me if there is one called Boris the Bulldog, I'm totally aware of it. But say you watched one of their videos and you absolutely hated the video, anytime Boris the Bulldog came up, yeah, I wouldn't be going back to that channel. So anyway, I hope to goodness there isn't a Boris the Bulldog dog groomers, because goodness knows I will get slaughtered for that. Anyway, just an example. So as that brand or that hook became more notable, more memorable, and it's also been paired with me, which is Ceri Griffiths, and I do split it. So you do see Ceri Griffiths real, you see Ceri the crafter. There is also Chef Ceri, which is Chef Ceri. She used to be the cake decorator, designer, tutor, judge, lecturer, that side of my personality, which is still there, but it's so far distant now because, as we know, pandemic wiped that side of my life out. But I still have the skills, still have the knowledge, and I still answer questions on that when people reach out to me. So knowing those two things are going forward and becoming more and more popular, the channel has grown. I very often will ask my subscribers, friends, followers for feedback. If I have an idea, if I want to do something different, I will canvas you guys, because that's what it's about. I mean, if you remember, in 2023, I was putting a video out every other day. And then towards the end of that year, and I did it for a year, and towards the end of that year, I did canvas you guys and said, listen, I'm finding the workload overwhelming. I want to do bigger projects, but I feel I'm a hamster on a wheel. How would you feel if I dropped the amount of videos per year? And with a resounding response from absolutely everybody, 100%. Everyone was like, Ceri, you must do what is best for you. And I went, thank you. But you have made me who I am, so I wanted your input. So now I do a video, then I have 2 days between, then I put a video, then 2 days between, I put a video. The only difference is sometimes I'll drop in a coffee with, well, once a month, I'll drop in a coffee with Ceri that's out of that cycle. Or if I'm doing a live, like April 15th, 2024, I'm doing a live interview with me. That's going to be out of sync with other things. So you get what I mean. But the pressure of what my followers expect has sometimes made me stumble when making decisions as to how to go forward with the content I make. And I think this is what I wanted to share with those who have other YouTube channels. We're all striving to be the best we can, to grow our channels, to help support and guide those who have become our subscribers and our friends and our followers. But in that popularity, there is a slight menace. The expectations of subscribers when you pass a certain barrier start to grow. No longer do they accept bad lighting. They don't expect or accept bad sound quality. They expect you to always be, I don't want to use the word perfect because it's not, excellent. There, that's a good word. They always expect you to be excellent. They do not expect you to make a complete mess of what you're doing. Now, I, on the other hand, am quite willing to share those messes and things not working, because I've come through the ranks just like anyone else, and I understand that making a mistake and showing you how to correct it or how I deal with it sometimes is the most educational or helpful part of the video, besides the project I was actually doing in the first place. So yes, I ignore a lot of those expectations, but I try to control what I output to the best quality I can. I try to learn new technology all the way along. I try to only add things to myself, my brand, my YouTube channel, my website, the products I promote or review, or anything I touch, I try to make sure it has value. When companies reach out to me, and believe me, when you reach the level I'm at, companies constantly reach out to you. And what they want to do is they contact you because they obviously do searches on YouTube or the internet, and they'll put in a category, say art, and they'll click on YouTube to find out who the top channels are, or they'll look at analytics to find out who's posting most regularly, who is using products that is similar to their own. They will reach out to you or reach out to me, and they will say, listen, can we send you something? We'd like you to do an unboxing. We'd like you to promote the product. And they usually go, we don't mind if you do a good or a bad review. They want a good review. Because in giving them a good review, you then generate sales for them, which then enhances their income. Now, as some YouTube influencers have been accused of, and they have been, some of the influencers out there and some of the non-influencers have jumped on the bandwagon, and they realize that if they get sent a free product, they do a good review, that company then sends them another free product and then another free product. And this can spiral way out of control. But what those YouTube influencers are doing is they're undermining their own integrity. Now, yes, I have promoted the odd product, and I will in the future, but I will only promote something that I believe in, or I find useful, or I think my subscribers would find useful. I mean, I can't remember how many I've done. Probably only a handful of product placement, as I would call it, reviews in my time on YouTube. I'm not against doing them, but it has to be something that I believe is the right thing to promote. And you guys are not foolish. You can see when a YouTube channel is just pushing and pushing and pushing, and one week they'll say, these paints are the best in the world. Then a month later they'll go, oh no, this brand of paints is the best in the world. And then a month later, guess what? This brand is the best in the world. And it undermines your integrity. So the struggles I've had is finding content, and believe me, I have enough ideas. I've got a composition notebook that's probably about a quarter to a third full, just idea after idea after idea after idea, because that's what my mind puts out there. Also, I watch very little television, so I watch YouTube a lot. And as I'm watching YouTubes, I will have a notepad by the side of me, and sometimes just a little tiny element within a video will spark an idea. Or maybe the entire video will spark an idea, and I'll let it marinate in my brain, and I'll churn it over, and I'll see whether I can put a twist on it. I can do it slightly differently. Maybe I can do it in a more efficient, mass-making way of doing it. And I try then to generate an informative video of my own, trying whenever possible to give credit to the video I've seen. Sometimes I do forget to write down the name, and then when I go and try and go back through my watch history, I can't remember what the video was called in the first place, and I do. But I will always say, if someone remembers who it was, please let me know in the comments. And I do my best to direct you guys to who it was, because I think that all of us are learning from each other, all of us are influencing each other, and I do feel that giving credit where credit's due is very important. It is important to me anyway. So, so expectation linked to popularity is something that you kind of need to deal with if you're growing your channel. And this is the part that comes into play for those who are not owning YouTube channel, but actually watch YouTube channel. There is very much a theme out there. A friend of mine, Ceri Vincent, once said that you know you're being successful because when you stick your head above the poppies, they'll start shooting at you. And you will find, I mean, only yesterday, or was it this morning? Might have been this morning, actually. I saw a post from someone who has quite a big YouTube channel, and they said they're now turning off comments. Like, the YouTube channel will go on, but the subscribers will no longer have the opportunity to interact with that YouTuber. And the reason being, she was getting sick of the hate mail, basically. I don't experience that much of it, thank goodness. Thank you guys, you're so kind to me. But some people do get some very, very harsh comments, and they come from you guys. Not all of you, just the odd core. Now, there are some people out there who love to hate. There are some people out there who feel they have to have a voice and they have to be judgmental. why? If you're not enjoying the video, for goodness sake, stop watching it and move on. You don't have to go on and go, this is the most banal video I have ever seen. And I'm quoting from one of my videos. And I was sat there reading this comment thinking, so why did you watch it? Like, and they obviously watched it all the way to the end because they went into some detailed commentary about the bits they really hated. And I was like, you watched a 1 hour video just to tell me you didn't like it? Who's the fool here? Now, there are comments that come up that, I mean, I get comments like, oh, you're too wordy, you talk too long, you need to just get on with it. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's kind of who I am. That's kind of what people want. If I'm not your flavour of YouTube channel, there are millions of YouTube channels. Just shuffle off to Buffalo, kid, move along, get out of the way. If I do have not nice comments on my channel, it's very often I will delete a comment. I will always read the comment. I will mull over the best way for me to respond to it, no matter what capitals and anger and whatever has come through. And I will usually thank that person for their comment. I will make a point of saying, obviously my video is not to your liking. I will also ask them, I would love to learn from you. If your YouTube channel is around, please send me a link. I'd like to see how it's supposed to be done. And then I usually finish off with things like, thank you very much. And I post that. And if you would read through comments on my videos, you may come across one of those. If someone is being really nasty, racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever, then my first instinct is I don't even answer it. I report it to YouTube, I block that person, and I make sure I keep a note of that name just in case it comes up again, and I let YouTube deal with it because, you know, I don't have to. And then I move on because I have learned along the way that the tiny percentage of haters that make bad comments are far outnumbered by those who make the good comments, the supportive comments, that give the thumbs up and the hearts. And they are the people who have made me who I am, not the people who want to just sit at home feeling big because they're chipping away at someone who's becoming someone in a world that they can't even get a grips with. So, but back to the expectations. If you're growing your channel, please be aware you have a responsibility to yourself to be true to yourself, but also true to your subscribers. Also be aware the bigger you get, the more people will go after you, the more critical they will become. And they will become critical of the smallest things. Like I have heard people say in comments, oh, did you see that woman? She's got a broken fingernail. I'm like, seriously? Really? You think that's important? So just be aware, you have to really grow a slightly tough skin in the YouTube world. Well, actually in the social media world, I should probably say, because it's not just YouTube. We lose far too many talented channels because as artists, we are passionate and sensitive about what we do. And sometimes it only takes one very pointed comment to make you upset for days and maybe a week or two. Some of those comments can throw someone into depression. So please, when you are commenting, be a little thoughtful. Would you say it to your family? Would you say it to your mother, your daughter, your child? Would you say it to someone's face is normally what I try to say to people. Probably not. The total anonymous keyboard warrior out there feels safe in saying what they want to say without actually having to face anyone for it. That's who you're going to come up against periodically when your channel gets big. Now, I am hoping that by Christmas 2024 that I'm going to probably get to 100,000 subscribers. That for me is going to be like, but in that, it gives me the chance to reach more people. It gives me the chance to be nice to people, which I am hopefully normally. It gives me the chance to promote other channels that I know are just starting on that journey. to almost be an ambassador for the talented people out there who are at the beginning of their journey. And I like to introduce you to other people. Any of you who are subscribers to me, you know there's always links in my information box below the video. Right, if I've referred to a person, then their channel is in there. If I've referred to a product that I believe in, it'll be in there. If I've discovered something, I'll put a link in there to it. So bottom line is, guys, we all have potential to grow our channels to be huge. Those people out there with millions of viewers, they started with one viewer, just like the rest of us. Whatever they did or whatever we do, whether it's artistic, quirky, gross, musical, odd, weird, whatever it is that has made these people and ourselves popular, is determining the amount of growth you do and how quickly. So just beware. If your channel is growing, step back a little bit and think before you do a knee-jerk response to any comments. Also be aware that as you grow, companies will look at you. Companies will reach out to you. It is always a compliment because you suddenly realize, oh, I'm getting noticed by bigger companies, I'm on the radar. Yes, but think long and hard about what they're asking you for and asking you to do. If it feels right to do it, then do it. If you're not feeling right about it, then either just delete the email or respond with a thank you, this isn't for me. You don't have to go into war and peace for reasons. Just go back and go, thank you very much for the offer. I don't feel my subscribers are up for this, or it's not my style, or just find a polite, maybe 1 or 2 lines, end of story, and just send it off. And if they come back and keep trying at you, just either block them or just start deleting the emails. Eventually they will go away. So anyway, I think that's enough for me for this moment. Let's see, 32 minutes, that's a lot longer than Coffee with Ceri normally is. But I did feel it was something I wanted to raise because it can impact your mental health. And a lot of us lead slightly fragile lives, should we say. I know I deal with my anxiety, my confidence and my OCD, and I've had to grow a thicker skin and not be so precious about things. So I think we'll go call it done. So anyway, thank you very much, guys. Take care, and I will see you in the next video, or the next Coffee with Ceri. If you've already subscribed, you're one of my subscribers, thank you. You are what makes me me. If you're not a subscriber, maybe one day you will be. And I'll welcome you to my channel when I see you. Okay, take care, guys.